So before I do ask you any questions, okay, I do posse.
So like I told you when I met you at the jail, my name's Eric. I'm a detective here with Broken Arrow.
Protocol that we have to do is get you away. We got to advise you of your rights, so you know.
In the tense and sterile atmosphere of a police interrogation room, the truth is often stranger than fiction. It's a place where emotions run high, and the stakes are life or death. But what happens when the interrogation itself becomes a terrifying ordeal, one that reveals the darkest corners of the human mind? Starting with a case of Avila, who was arrested for tossing her newborn baby into a dumpster baby. Alexis Avila, April 10th, 2023. Alexis Avila was charged with attempted murder after being caught dumping her newborn baby in a dumpster. The horrifying discovery was made by Michael Green, Hector Yell, and April Meadow, who found the infant barely alive with the umbilical cord still attached. Emergency responders were able to stabilize the baby, but the incident raised questions about Alexis's pregnancy and her actions. Surveillance footage showed Alexis arriving in a white car, removing a black trash bag from the back seat, and tossing it into the dumpster. She claimed to have only found out about her pregnancy the day before, despite evidence suggesting she knew earlier. Alexis's evasive answers during police questioning revealed her attempts to downplay her knowledge of the pregnancy. During the interrogation, Alexis repeatedly emphasized her age, just turning 18, and claimed to have experienced back pain, which she mistook for other issues. Despite knowing about her pregnancy months prior, she maintained she didn't realize she was giving birth until it happened, citing ongoing pain and a lack of noticeable symptoms. After giving birth alone at home, Alexis panicked and wrapped the baby in a towel before disposing of it in a trash bag. She drove around aimlessly, unsure of what to do next, before ultimately discarding the bag in a dumpster. Despite multiple opportunities to seek help or notify authorities, Alexis failed to do so out of fear and uncertainty.
Alright, so, my name's Daniel Craig. I'm Daniel Pez. I'm an investigator here with the House Police Department. Alright, what is your name?
Alexis.
Alexis, what is your full name?
Alexis. I'm Claudia.
Okay. What's your date of birth? So before I do ask you any questions, okay, I do per policy and procedure, I read everybody the rights. It doesn't mean anything other than me, making you aware of your rights and you understanding your rights. Does that make any sense? Okay. Do you need any medical attention though before we start? No? Are you okay? Okay. You know what day of the week it is and stuff?
Friday.
Today? Friday? Okay.
During the interrogation, Alexis's attempts to evade responsibility were evident as she struggled to provide coherent explanations for her actions. Her claims of being in shock and not knowing what to do seemed contradictory to her calculated decisions to conceal the pregnancy and dispose of the baby. When questioned about the father of the baby, Alexis revealed his name, but denied any involvement or motive on his part. She maintained that their breakup was unrelated to her pregnancy, further deflecting from her own responsibility.
What else do I do?
If you wish to talk to me or not, if you can just initial yes or no. Alright, so I know there's a lot, okay, to talk about, and I just want to ask you, why you think you're here, or what led us to us being here. Alright, obviously I do know information, and the last thing I want to do is, to start off on the wrong foot, and for you to start, lying. There's always two sides to the story. Obviously I'm looking at a evidence standpoint, I don't know what you're going through, if you're going through anything, we're all humans, before me being a detective, I'm a father,
Despite Alexis's attempts to minimize her actions, law enforcement saw through her lies and arrested her on charges of attempted first-degree murder and child abuse. She pleaded not guilty during her arraignment and is currently under house arrest awaiting trial. If you thought that was the worst case, this is because you didn't hear about Michael Bever. Michael Bever. July 23, 2015. A harrowing scene unfolded in the Bever household as 12-year-old Daniel James Bever made a desperate call to the police, pleading for help as his brothers wreaked havoc, slaughtering their family members. Within minutes, the call ended abruptly, leaving behind a chilling silence. Responding swiftly, law enforcement arrived to a gruesome tableau of violence. With blood staining the porch and the cries of 13-year-old Crystal Bever, the sole survivor aside from 2-year-old Autumn, piercing the air. Robert, in particular, boasted to the police, claiming that their actions had elevated him to godlike status.
I'm a detective here with Broken Arrow Police. Like she told you, her name's Rihanna. She's a detective also. We just want to spend some time and maybe talk and discuss some things and maybe ask you some questions, let you ask us some questions, and make sure we're all comfortable with what's going on, and then we'll go from there. Does that sound good? Okay, so you probably heard or seen this on TV before, but it's your notification of rights, it's your Miranda rights. And so I'm going to read them to you, but I want to sit here where you can see the paper, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to read 1 through 5 right here. And so I'll read them and you kind of can look at it with me. I want to make sure you understand all these. You have the right to remain silent. You do not have to answer any questions or make any statement. Anything you say can and will be used against you in court. You have the right to talk to a lawyer before we ask you any questions, and you have the right to have a lawyer.
Subsequent interrogation tapes shed light on their motivations, exposing a disturbing fascination with mass killings and the accumulation of weaponry, including body armor, knives, and firearms procured through online purchases. The brothers' descent into darkness was fueled by a shared fixation on murder, nurtured by their isolated upbringing in an abusive household. With their parents' negligence and dismissal of concerning behaviors, the brothers were left unchecked to hatch their sinister plans. Discussions of massacres and disdain for society further fueled their resolve, culminating in a meticulously planned assault on their own family.
Questions. It's hard to read it sideways. If you want to answer questions now without a lawyer being present, you may do so. You have the right to stop answering questions at any time. So you understand what those are saying? Basically, if you want an attorney, just tell me. If you don't like any of the questions I ask, just tell me to stop. If you get uncomfortable, we'll stop whenever you want. Kind of, you're in control. Does that sound good? Okay. So what I want you to do is I'm going to read this waiver to you right here, and you look at it as I read it to you, because I'll make sure you understand it. It says, I have read the statement of my rights shown above. I understand what my rights are. I'm willing to answer questions and make a statement. I do not want a lawyer present at this time. I understand and know what I am doing. No promises or threats have been made to me, and no pressure of any kind has been used against me. So if you agree with that statement that I just read to you, that you're looking at, if you'll sign right there for me.
I don't know what I can do with signature.
Yeah, just whatever you can do the best.
Their scheme involved dismembering the victims' bodies and concealing them in bins while awaiting the delivery of firearms, intending to unleash further carnage upon society. However, their plans unraveled when Crystal stumbled upon them preparing for the massacre, triggering a violent spree that claimed the lives of their parents and siblings. During interrogation, Michael attempted to deflect blame onto his brother Robert, portraying himself as a reluctant participant coerced by familial loyalty.
Yeah, because you had said you had graduated?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, that's all we need. So you put high school for your formal education,
Yep.
And are you presently on any drugs or medication? You answered no. Are you under the influence of alcohol? You answered no. And you do read and speak English, obviously. You put yes.
Yes.
Sound good? Okay.
Do you take any prescription medications?
Yet both brothers were complicit in the brutality, with Michael confessing to his active role in the murders, including slitting throats and stabbing his own family members. Further revelations emerged during the investigation, exposing the brothers' desire for notoriety and their intention to document their atrocities through videos intended for online dissemination. Their quest for fame underscored the callousness of their actions, revealing a chilling disregard for human life.
When all this started, and kind of tell me what happened, because I need kind of the details so we know and understand what you went through and stuff.
Okay, so at the very start.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, about like 2 months ago.
Okay.
That's when we first really started talking.
So when you say we, who are you talking about?
Me and my brother was also.
Your brother?
Yeah, who's the husband with me.
And what's his name?
Robert Pepper.
Robert? Okay. And how old is he?
18.
Okay. All right, go ahead, sorry.
A couple months ago, I think back to the start of this year, we started talking about voodoo and rampage and stuff like that.
Okay.
And I didn't take it seriously at first, but then he started buying like
At trial, despite attempts to plead insanity, both brothers received 5 years life sentences without the possibility of parole, condemning them to spend the remainder of their days behind bars. Meanwhile, the surviving children, Crystal and Autumn, found solace in the care of an adoptive family, spared from the horrors inflicted by their own flesh and blood. But hold on your seats, because this next case is more shocking than the others. Dalia DiPolito. 2017. In 2008, Dalia DiPolito, a real estate agent with a side gig as an escort, met her husband, Michael DiPolito, who had a criminal history involving fraud. Despite their initial success, their marriage deteriorated as Dalia appeared to exploit Michael's past for her gain. When Michael faced potential legal trouble,
We had a report of a disturbance at your house, and there were shots fired. Is your husband Michael? Okay, I'm sorry to tell you, ma'am, he's been killed. He's been killed, man. I'm sorry.
No, he's not.
Listen.
No.
Try to calm down.
No.
Listen, right now what we need to get you to the station.
No.
We need to get you to our police station.
Dalia anonymously tipped off the police, leading to suspicions of narcotics involvement. Michael, fearing asset loss, transferred his assets to Dalia, unknowingly playing into her hands. The situation escalated when Dalia, seeking to eliminate her husband, contacted an ex-boyfriend, Mohammed Shihade, in search of a hitman. However, instead of complying, Shihad cooperated with the police, becoming a confidential informant. This marked the beginning of a meticulously planned sting operation by the Boynton Police Department to expose Dalia's intentions. Undercover officer Whitty G posed as a hitman and engaged Dalia in discussions about the murder. In recorded conversations, Dalia agreed to pay $7,000 for her husband's assassination, providing details of his routine and home security measures. She even handed over $1,200 as an initial payment, along with a photo of her husband, solidifying the evidence against her.
I'll stop and repeat. And first of all, let me just tell you, I'm sorry for your loss.
I just want to see my husband, please.
All right, honey.
I love my husband, and I love you too.
No, you don't want to see him.
I just want to see him.
Believe me, you don't. Could you listen, please? I'm required to warn you before you make any statement that you have the following constitutional rights. And as I say, this is protocol. If you don't understand them, tell me you don't understand, and I'll explain them to you, okay? You have the right to remain silent and not answer any questions. You understand that? Just answer, you have to answer me.
I understand.
Just say yes.
Yes.
Any statement you make must be freely and voluntarily given. Do you understand that? If you have the right to the presence and representation of the lawyer of your choice where you make any statement during any question. You understand that?
Yes.
If you cannot afford a lawyer, you are entitled to the presence and representation of a court-appointed lawyer where you make any statement during any questions. Do you understand that?
Yes.
If at any time during the interview you do not wish to answer any questions, I'm privileged to remain silent. Do you understand that?
Meanwhile, Michael was brought into the loop by detectives, revealing Dalia's financial schemes and suspicious behavior. He described her manipulation of funds, including an incident where she deceived him about a $191,000 cashier's check. Despite his initial ignorance, Michael became aware of Dalia's deceit and recognized her as a potential threat to his life. As the sting operation unfolded, Dalia was informed of her husband's supposed murder. However, her reaction seemed calculated, focusing on the presence of cameras in their home rather than genuine grief. The police, having gathered ample evidence, confronted Dalia with her involvement, leading to her arrest for solicitation of first-degree murder. During her trial, Dalia's defense attempted to portray her as a victim, claiming she had been manipulated into signing release forms for the TV show Cops and suggesting Michael orchestrated the entire scheme for publicity. Despite these efforts, Dahlia was convicted in 2017 and sentenced to 20 years in prison. That's all for this video. We hope you have found this video informative and interesting. What are your thoughts about these cases? Let us know in the comments section. Make sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon for more interesting videos like this. Thank you for watching our video.